this model which we have just discussed for the analysis of small signal amplifiers. And by analysis I mean that we want to derive expressions for the parameters of interest. As I said in the beginning that the parameters which characterize an amplifier, some of the parameters are the input impedance, the voltage gain, the current gain and the output impedance. These expressions are to be derived, and once we have these equations which will contain only the H parameters and certain resistances like load resistance or maybe in some cases the source resistance in the equations. So, if we substitute the value of these impedances which are known and the values of H parameters in the equations, then we can calculate the voltage gain, current gain and the two impedances. Now, the circuit which we are considering, basic circuit, is this, where this is the transistor for which H parameters are known. Normally they are given by the manufacturer for each transistor. So, we can take the values from the manual, and if we want a very precise value of H parameters, we can measure the way we have described, the way we have defined these H parameters. So, in this pi model which we have arrived at, now the transistor will be replaced by this, and we have to add this part and this part to that pi model. So, what we get is this. This is the current I 1 and this is the signal source. This is the, in the model we have H R V 2 and this is the current source which is H F I 1 and this is 1 by, this is impedance, inverse of admittance, and H 0 is output admittance, and this is plus minus V 2 here and the current I 2. This is load resistance or load impedance, R L load resistance, which is same as load impedance for low frequencies, but in general this can be written as load impedance, but popularly it is known as written as R L. So, I have written it as R L. This is in every circuit there. For example, if it is a amplifier for audio frequencies, then here we will attach the coil of the speaker, that will be the impedance, the load, and similarly this is source. Now, source, whether it is a generator as we do often in the lab or it is a transducer like microphone, then the resistance of the coil is what is known as source resistance or source impedance, but popularly it is written as R S. So, source resistance. And the two equations are here, which we have written earlier, because now we are going to use these two equations very much. So, I write once again the V 1 is H I 1 HR V2 and I2 is HF I1 HO V2. This was equation 5 and this is equation 6. Now, the voltage gain AV, this is defined as the output voltage by input voltage. So, from these equations, now we have to manipulate these equations such that we get this ratio V2 by V1 and no other unknown parameter, and unknown parameters are these currents and voltages, while the H parameters are known, and this should also, the expression may contain these impedances which are also known. So, we have to manipulate with the equations to get these values. So, first we derive a expression for voltage gain. We now get an expression for voltage gain, and which, as I said, is equal to AV as the ratio of these two voltages. Now, from the, as I said, we will have to manipulate these equations so that we get this ratio, and this should not involve any unknown parameter. So, now from the output circuit, of this figure here, this is the output circuit, we get, this is I2, this is the voltage V2 which appears across this load RL, and hence I2 is equal to minus V2 by RL. Why minus sign? Look here at the direction. We have taken it at the higher potential V plus and V minus, while the current is flowing in this direction. Normally, you will recall the current flows from higher potential towards the lower potential side. So, this is the particular choice of the directions which we have taken, and that is why this negative sign comes. If we substitute this, substituting this value of I2 in equation 6, what is the equation 6? Is this equation, this is the equation. Now, we substitute the value of I2 what we have determined here, and so we get let us call this equation 7, and then or from here actually we can write I1 equal to, from equation 7, I1 comes out to be, I1 is equal to minus HO plus 1 by RL V2 by HF. We substitute for I1, we substitute I1 from above to equation 5. This is the equation. So, I1, because here we want the ratio of V2 by V1, we are finding the voltage gain, which is the ratio of V2 by V1. Now, here I1 should be replaced by the known parameters, and here there are mostly the known in fact this will be taken care of automatically. So, when we put this value in equation 5, what we get is this V 1 minus H I 1 plus H O R L by H F R L plus H R by into V 2. From here we can get the expression for voltage gain. Therefore, voltage gain of the amplifier A V, which is equal to V 2 by V 1, V 2 by V 1, and this comes out to be this is the expression for voltage gain of the amplifier. Here all parameters are known, all these H parameters are known, and there are just this load resistance. So, on the voltage gain depends on the value of load resistance. So, this is the exact expression for the voltage gain. We will simplify it further, we can approximate it without losing much the accuracy. This is the exact expression, and we will drive, we can neglect certain terms under certain conditions which are practically observed in the amplifiers. So, we will see later, but this is the expression for the voltage gain. Now, this minus sign, this finally we will see that, for example, when we write the voltage gain for a common emitter amplifier, then these H parameters have to be replaced by the H f becomes equal to H f e, that means for common emitter, and which is same as beta, the current gain which we have discussed earlier. So, that has to be done, and when this negative sign is still remains with the expression, this will indicate phase reversal. Phase reversal, as it will happen in the case of in CE amplifier. By phase reversal, we mean that the output and input signal will have a phase difference of pi, meaning when input is maximum on the positive side, the output will have maximum negative. This is phase reversal, and in common emitter this happens, and it does not change anything because this is all continuous, but there is a phase reversal, and that will be indicated by this negative sign. Then we want another quantity, that is the current gain. Current gain will be, it is written as I, and this will be the ratio of I 2 over I 1. So, again we have to play with the equations, we have to manipulate the equations in such a way that this ratio is equal to the terms in which each parameter is known, that we will see. We have obtained earlier the expression for I 2 V 2 by R L. Simple, from the output circuit we see this here, that the voltage V 2 appears with this polarity we have assumed across R L, then I 2 was equal to this, or this is or V 2 is equal to minus R L into I 2. We substitute this V 2, substituting this value of V 2 in equation 6. Sixth equation is here. So, when we substitute for this V 2 this value, what equation results is this: I 2 is equal to H f I 1 minus H O R L I 2, and from here we take this is I 2, this is I 2. So, we take this term on this side. So, this will be I 2 1 plus H O R L is equal to H f I 1, and from here we can get the current gain. The current gain I 2 by I 1. So, this divided by this, we get very simple expression that current gain A I is equal to I 2 by I 1, and that is H f 1 plus H O into R L. This is the expression for current gain of the amplifier. I have said that if we talk of the common emitter circuit CE amplifier, then this HF is to be replaced by HFE, which is forward current gain, and which is identical as the current gain beta, which we talked earlier. So, this is very significant point, that HFE represents the current gain of the transistor, not of the circuit. Very important point, that this represents the current gain of the device, current gain of the device, and this is the expression for the amplifier circuit. That means, this current gain is reduced by this factor 1 plus H O R L, and you remember that we measure HF with shorted output, and so if RL is reduced to 0, then current gain will be equal to HF, same as of the device, but this is for the amplifier. So, HFE represents the maximum value of current gain which is possible from the circuit, but normally because RL will have a finite value and this HO is finite. So, this is current gain is reduced in the amplifier circuit. If we take this 100, then this may be 80, 60 or even low, depending on what is the value of RL and of course HO. So, this is the expression for current gain. Then the input impedance. The input impedance. Input impedance, we write impedance as Z, and Z I, that is input, I stands for input impedance. This by definition is V 1 by I 1. That means, we apply a test signal here, and what is the ratio of this voltage? This is V 1. What is the ratio of this voltage and this current? That will give the value of input impedance, and this we can get that let us substitute the value of V 2. We have got the value of V 2 from this equation 7. From equation 7 we obtain, this is equation 7, I repeat, 0 H f I 1 H o plus 1 by R L V 2. This was equation 7, and from here we can get the value of V 2. So, value of V 2 comes out to be this is from this equation 7, this is the value of V 2. We put this in equation 5 here, V 2 we replace here, then we can get this ratio V 1 by I 1, which is required for determination of the impedance, the two. So, substituting it in equation 5, we get Z I this is the expression for input impedance. Now, input impedance, this is also input impedance, but again this is the input impedance of the transistor. When we use this transistor which has its HI parameter, now this parameter is reduced because of the other part of the circuit, and interestingly note here that input impedance, this input impedance, this ratio is also, it depends on R L, that means the value of load resistance which we are using with the circuit, and this is again to confirm that the two junctions, two sides of the transistor do not function in complete isolation. There is a kind of feedback, there is a kind of coupling between the two sides which is reflected in this expression, that if we change in this expression the load resistance, then this ratio will be affected. And another point, as I said, that the impedance of the amplifier is different from the input impedance of the transistor, and this is reduced by this parameter. So, this is the impedance. The next we consider the output impedance. And why we are doing this manipulation? I again repeat, for example, if we get this V 1 by I 1 from directly from equation 5, V 1 by I 1, it will contain V 2 which we do not know. So, the value of V 2 is to be substituted in terms of known parameters, and hence the expression contains only H parameters and the known values of the impedances or resistances. So, we continue this analysis, and finally, we will be getting an expression for the output impedance, and this is by definition this will be Z impedance O for output and this is equal to V 2 by I 2. This is the ratio, and how we arrive at it? For this, for determining the output impedance, the input side has to be the V s, the source has to be reduced to 0, V s is reduced to 0. So, what is the, this value is reduced to 0, but we will have to keep in the circuit its impedance. We have just switched it off, we have not removed it from the circuit, otherwise we will miss the parameter R s on which the output impedance will depend. So, the input circuit becomes like this, V s is removed from here. Now, so this is the situation when we put V s to ground to 0. This is the situation. Now, you may say that if this is 0, from where this I 1 will come? This will come because of the source V 2. So, there is a finite value of this current, and in this figure, in the figure we get R s I 1 plus V 1 equal to 0. Here again the summation of voltages, the voltage drop, this represents the voltage drop here, and this is this, and this should be 0 in the circuit. So, we get this, and this from here, or V 1 is equal to minus I 1 into R s. We substitute this value of V 1 in equation 5. The equation 5 was this. This contains V 1. So, V 1 is replaced by this value. So, then what we get? We get the value of I 1 then we will get equal to H r V 2 H I plus R s. When we substitute this value, substituting this value of I 1 in equation 6, which is this equation. So, that will result in this ratio V 2 by I 2 will give us the output impedance. We get this expression, which can be put in this another form, or Z 0 equals this is the expression for the output impedance, and this shows that output impedance depends on the value of R s, the source resistance. This source resistance affects the value which we measure here. This is again the fact that what we do at the input side will affect what will be the performance at the output circuit. So, this is again the a kind of effect of the coupling between the two junctions. So, these are the parameters which we have obtained. So, we obtained all the 4 parameters of the amplifier. The important, all the 4 parameters are very important: the current gain, the voltage gain, the input impedance, and output impedance. Now, remember one thing, that H parameters also give these values, like HF. HF is the forward current gain, but that was the current gain of the device, the transistor alone, without any circuits, in isolation. So, those parameters, H parameters, were for the device, and what we have now derived, these are the expressions for the parameters which characterize the amplifier, for the amplifier as a whole. And it is very important, because once we know the H parameters of the device, then we can substitute in these expressions, and knowing the, for example, source and load resistance, and we get the value of this. Now, we can continue with the, and power gain, of course, we are not concerned with the power gain in small signal amplifiers. Power gain will be a consideration in the case of power amplifiers, which we will be taking later, but if still we want, then power gain this is always the product of current gain into voltage gain. Current gain into voltage gain gives the power gain, but as I said, this is of not much value in small signal amplifiers. Now, the voltage gain which we observed, that was without taking into account, because you see what we have derived for voltage gain, we took the ratio V 2 by V 1. What was V 2? The voltage across the load. What is V 1? This is V 1, which is different from V s. V s is our real source, but we have taken out this ratio. So, we have ignored actually this part in deriving this expression. So, we can do that. This is voltage gain taking source resistance R s into account. Voltage gain taking source resistance into account. I make that circuit again here, a small part of it. in the derivation of this expression we have ignored this part. Now, we can see through this voltage divider circuit, this is the input impedance of this amplifier. The two voltages Vs is equal to V1 when source resistance is 0, when Rs is equal to 0. But we want to take the finite value of the source resistance into account. So, this AVS, that means this will be the voltage gain in when we take into account the source resistance. S stands for source resistance, and this is equal to V2 by Vs. Look the difference. Here we took V2 by V1. Now, we are taking this into account. So, we are taking the ratio of V2 by Vs, which is the actual strength of the signal. So, when we do this, this we can write as V2 by V1 and V1 by Vs. This is same, this is written by dividing and multiplying with V1 for a specific reason, that this is what we call AV. So, AVS is equal to AV, the voltage gain, the expression which we got, into Vs V1 by Vs. And this simply gives the voltage division, and from this circuit we can easily see that V1 by Vs is simply this Zi Zs plus Zi. Simple. This is the voltage divider circuit, where this voltage is divided between two parts, and they will be in this ratio. So, therefore, for any, if we want that this AVS should be as close to AV, then this factor should be unity. That means, we should use a source. If Zs is neglected here, then this term will be 1, this term will be 1, and we will have simply AVS equal to AV. So, this is the actual inclusion of the source resistance Rs, actually Rs is to reduce the voltage gain, and this reduction is obvious here, because we took V2 by V1 in these expressions. So, there we have assumed Vs is equal to V1, but this will happen only when Rs is 0. When Rs is finite, then this is, we will have to take into account these resistances, and the gain, the voltage gain with Rs into account becomes AVS equal to AV into Zi, the input impedance, Rs plus Zi. So, this is the expression, precise expression, when we include this source resistance. And we can generalize these expression, the expression which we, as I said, these equations which we have obtained for all the current gain and voltage gain, they are applicable to all the three cases CB, CE and common collector, common base, common ammeter and common collector circuit, they are applicable for them. If we write for voltage gain for CE, for common emitter amplifier, then we have to replace these parameters for common emitter, and this gain becomes for CE amplifier HFE RL HIE 1 plus HOE RL minus HRE HFE into RL. This is the expression which we get for the voltage gain for CE amplifier, exact expression for voltage gain for CE amplifier. In the same way, we can write for, now I am writing all these parameters for common emitter. So, voltage gain for common emitter we have written, and the current gain for the common emitter amplifier is HFE 1 plus HOE RL. This is the expression, exact expression for the current gain of the common emitter amplifier. And then we have input impedance, and that is for CE amplifier. This is equal to HIE minus HRE HFE RL 1 plus HOE RL. And finally, the output impedance Z0 for common emitter amplifier 1 by HOE minus HRE and HFE divided by HIE plus RS. These are the 4 expressions for the common emitter circuit: the voltage gain of the common emitter circuit, the current gain, the input impedance and output impedance. I said that these are the exact expressions and we can use them, but they can be simplified also. So, let us take the simplified expressions, because out of the 4 parameters, some have very little effect. If we neglect those H parameters in these expressions, then expressions get simplified and the accuracy suffered is insignificant, hardly 1 or 2% accuracy is declined, but that is acceptable in most electronic circuits. So, let us take the approximate hybrid H parameter relations. The first parameter which can be dropped without much suffering in the accuracy, without bringing much inaccuracy to our results, is the H R E, reverse voltage transfer ratio. This is having very small value. If you look at the rough magnitude estimates which I gave in the table in the beginning, then this is approximately 10 to power minus 4, very small. That means the effect of the output voltage at the input side is very weak, and many times this can be dropped. If we drop that, then our expression, for example, for voltage gain can be drastically simplified. This HR is extremely small, and that the relation then becomes only this much. So, under this condition, when we drop HRE dropped, then we get the approximate relation, and again I repeat, approximate means within few percent, which is acceptable in most of the applications in electronics. So, accuracy does not suffer significantly, and this is equal to HFE RL HIE 1 plus HOE RL. This is the approximate relation. We can further simplify it actually, because this term HOE into RL, this is normally very less than 1. It may be 0.01 or 0.02, like that. We substitute the value of load resistance which we use in our amplifier, and we take this parameter, then we will find that this will be less than 1. So, actually it may be dropped, and then the expression becomes very simple, minus HFE into RL by HIE. So, this we can remember also, and I repeat that by bringing this simplification, the accuracy of estimation is that suffers very little, hardly few percent, which is tolerable in most of the electronic designs. So, we see that load resistance is equal to HFE, which is like beta, the current gain in the common emitter circuit, and RL, the load resistance. If load resistance is low, this is one reason that the voltage gain will fall, and this is of course HIE. And under this condition, if with these modifications, if we see, then our current gain also becomes simplified, and input impedance and output impedance, all those relations, they get simplified. Now, I said that common base circuit is not much used, because input impedance is very low. Here this is another reason that why common base cannot be cascaded easily. If we have a common emitter stage, and then we connect here a common base stage, then the input impedance of this CV stage, this input impedance Zi of common base will come in parallel with the load resistance which will be there in the RL of CE stage. Now, this is very low, few 50 ohms, 80 ohms, 20 ohms, very low resistance, and normally RL will be in kilo ohms, but when we connect the, we make a multi-stage amplifier, and if we connect a CV stage, then the effective load will be drastically reduced, and hence the effective load, if it falls very much, the gain, that means the performance of the C amplifier will be very much affected. The gain may come from say 100 to 20. So, that is why CV stage is not used much. It has few applications in high power circuits, and that is it. We can find these parameters for any actual circuit, and we can you can take up certain problems to find these parameters for actual circuit, and the actual circuit of a common emitter amplifier, for example, is this. This is the complete amplifier circuit. This is the transistor, this is that self bias network which we have discussed in biasing of the transistors, and this is a bypass, C is the bypass capacitor. Bypass capacitor, and this bypasses the loss of AC signal across resistance R e. Resistance R e is essential for bias stability. We have discussed this point. If we remove R e, if R e is made 0, then instead of self bias is reduced to fixed bias, which is never to be used. Here that operating point will shift significantly, and that may result into a distorted output. So, as far as DC is concerned, that will see this, that will not see this capacitor, because that DC will be blocked by it. It will pose an infinite impedance for DC. So, for DC purposes the R e is there, and we bypass it so that the AC signal is not significantly reduced, because whatever AC signal falls here, that is the net loss, and the signal strength will fall at the load resistance. So, this is the meaning of bypass. The another significant point, the impedance which we have just determined above, that was the impedance looking here, that is actually we called Zi base. Looking into the base, I am discussing the C amplifier, which is most important, and this will be actual input impedance will be when we include the effect of this. So, this is the input impedance of amplifier, which is Z in amplifier is equal to R1 into R2, the effect of this in parallel in parallel with Zi base. So, there are two components of input impedance. One is looking into the base, where we do not take into account the effect of these resistances, but when we are finding the impedance for the amplifier, we can't neglect, and that will be this.